Hello, this is KT Upadhyay, and this is the first in the series of videos explaining the project management principles. Now, in this very first video, what we will do is we'll look at the definition of project and what are the various characteristics of the project that separate projects from day-to-day operations. So let's understand what exactly is a project. Now, I would say, and this is going to amaze you, that project is like a tick mark which denotes the correct things in life. Now you must be wondering, what has the tick mark got to do with project management? Now let me elaborate on that. On the tick mark, let's say the y-axis denotes the cash flow and the x-axis denotes the timeline. Anyone who undertakes a project and puts in the money or resources with an objective to derive some value, this value has to be much larger than the amount that is originally invested. Otherwise, the project itself will not make sense. Okay. Now, the value that you are trying to derive could be monetary value, like a revenue, or it could be societal value, brand value, goodwill, or some such thing. Take, for example, an organization that is trying to put up a metro railway system. Now, invariably, what will happen is that the organization creates the metro railway system. So the project is thus creating a value delivery mechanism. Now this metro railway that has been put up during the project, it goes into operations and thereby it starts delivering the business value. Now what is that business value we're talking about? For the organization that has set up the metro railway, this is the revenue that they are going to generate from the operations. But at the same time, it is generating value from other stakeholders. For example, the end user who is really using this metro railway system, they're going to get a better transportation mechanism rather than suffering in the traffic. So all parties involved are trying to gather some business value from this project. Okay. Now, why is the project considered to be a temporary endeavor? Imagine anyone who's trying to invest money in some endeavor, his ultimate motive is to derive the business benefit, the business value. And if you just keep on continuously investing money in the project, when will you derive the value? That's why the project must come to an end and operations should start delivering the business value. That's why project is a temporary endeavor as against operations that are an ongoing endeavor, because in operations you are deriving the value and you want the value to be derived as much as possible for as long as possible. So till it really becomes unsustainable, the operations go on. Now, projects create unique product, service, or result. A unique product like a car model, a new phone model, or some such thing. Now, when this goes into operations in the factory, that car model that you have created in the lab is going to be produced on a mass scale in the factory. Similarly, the phone model that was created by the design team will now be produced at a mass scale in the factory. So, operations follow the project. Now, what is a service project? Say, for example, this metro railway that we just talked about. It is a service project because it is being created to provide a new transportation service to the people of the local area. Similarly, a nationwide telecom service provider might put up a 6G network. They are trying to provide the internet connectivity to all the areas in the nation, and thereby they are also going to derive the revenue coming out of that. Or a project could be as simply as a PhD research which creates a research report, and that's a unique result that we are looking at. Projects always incur cost. That's the third characteristic of the project. And in operations, you generate value. And like I said, it could be monetary value, it could be something else. Now, when you are incurring the cost, that's a given. That is a hard, cold cash. But the operations may or may not result into deriving the actual value as you had envisaged. It could be less, it could be more. It's after all a estimate that you are looking at. It could be what you have projected, or it could be uh, less, or sometimes, if you're lucky, it could be even more, right? That's why I have depicted this downward cash flow in red, and the other part, which is incoming cash, that's in green line, but it is dotted. So depicting that it may or may not happen. Now, the last characteristic of the project is called as progressive elaboration. Now, what exactly is progressive elaboration? Let's have a look at it. Now, vis-a-vis this progressive elaboration in operations, you have a complete clarity of the product or service or the result that you're going to create. Now, let's have a look at what is progressive elaboration. Now, whenever the project starts, hardly if ever, you're going to have a complete description of what you have to deliver and what work you got to do in order to deliver what you need to deliver. Now, this clarity emerges over a period in time as we go on getting more and more information. Now, this happens in almost every walk of life. For example, a person who suddenly thinks of buying a car. Now, obviously, he has to conduct feasibility study, he has to conduct business case analysis. That part we'll leave it for later. But just try to think about it. When the person decides to buy a car, he has no clarity of what kind of car he is looking to buy. So initially, he conceptualizes the type of car that he's looking for, depending on the type of load he's going to carry, the number of people who are going to sit in the car, the kind of travel he's going to undertake, short distance, daily to office, or long drives across the nation. Now, once he conceptualizes the model of the car, he gets a clarity of what type of car he is looking at, a hatchback, a sedan, or a SUV kind of a car. Now he starts looking at all the options that are available based on this clarity that he has got from conceptualizing the model of the car. He looks at all the possible options that he has and the monetary constraints that he might be having. And then he gets a final specification of what car he is going to buy. Now, once this clarity is available, he is now clear as to what is the car that he is going to buy. Now he goes to a dealer and he places an order of the car. Now, once the order for the car is placed, the car has gone into execution. The dealer is going to register the car. He's going to buy an insurance for you. He's going to fix the accessories and so on and so forth. Once this is done, the car is brought to the showroom, the key is handed over, and finalization is done. Car goes into operations. So, over a period of 4 phases of the project, you get clarity, and then once you get clarity, you execute the project and then hand over the project deliverable to the operations. Thus, project finishes. So, let's quickly summarize what we have seen in this video. A, project is a temporary endeavor as against operations that are ongoing endeavor. Projects create unique product, unique service, or unique result. Operations create the same product over and over repetitively, provide the same service over and over. In projects, you incur cost. In operations, you derive value. In project, you have progressive elaboration. That means the clarity about what you are supposed to do in the project emerges over a period in time. Whereas in operations, you have a complete clarity right from the word go. And when you are doing the project, you're done. You hand it over to operations and they start deriving the value. See you in the next video where we'll cover what exactly is a project life cycle that we are talking about here in this